The co-hosts of The View recently discussed the recent passing of Pope Francis at the age of 88. Throughout the discussion, the co-hosts shared their thoughts and condolences, with one even describing getting the chance to meet him. However, one co-host shared that she may have felt left out. One of the co-hosts of The View got the chance to meet the Pope in person. Pope Francis, born Jorge Mario Bergoglio, passed away on Monday, April 21, 2025, the day after Easter Sunday. The passing of the world figure, who was the first pope from the Americas, was discussed on a variety of outlets, including a recent episode of The View. On the episode airing on April 22, Whoopi Goldberg shared that, "Yesterday was a tough day. Because Pope Francis, one of the great popes in my opinion, passed away just hours after sharing a very timely Easter message at the Vatican. He called on people to embrace those who are different, or who are from different lands. Because we are all children of God." The View. Goldberg then asked the other co-hosts if they think Pope Francis's message will resonate. Co-host Sarah Haynes shared, "When I think of this Pope, he was the most Jesus-like. Yeah, you know when you read of Jesus and what his word was and how he walked." During the discussion, Goldberg also shared getting to meet the pontiff in the past. She shared, "Yeah, he was great. I mean, listen, he brought, and this sounds crazy, but he brought 100 comedians from around the world. 100 of us." Behar, who also has a background in comedy, chimed in, "I remember that." While the audio wasn't too clear, as noted by Decider, some fans could hear her jokingly add, "I wasn't invited." This was interspersed with a clip of Goldberg presenting Pope Francis with merchandise from her movie, Sister Act, where her character poses as a nun. After a brief pause, the audience broke out into laughter, whether due to Behar's comment or seeing the Sister Act reference. Whoopi Goldberg previously talked about meeting the Pope back in 2023. Goldberg continued her message. "What he said was, I want to laugh more. We all need to laugh more, and then he looked at the 100 of us and he said, what you do is very important, because without you, it's a grayer day. Now, I don't know any other Pope in my lifetime. My Pope was John the 23rd, who I was a little kid and saw him and he was going by in a Pope-mobile and he looked over and it was like, I see you, and I thought, I see you too." Goldberg previously praised in a 2023 episode of The View, where she also described meeting him. At the time, she shared, "He was quite amazing. He is exactly what I hoped he would be, which is a pope for all people, regardless of religion, which I really appreciated. I wanted to thank him, for all of my gay friends and for all of my divorced friends, because he basically has said, listen, God loves you no matter what. Come back to the church. I thought, I'm gonna walk into this building and I'm going to burst into flames. But as it turns out, I did not." The passing of Pope Francis on April 21, 2025, at the age of 88 sent ripples across the globe, prompting heartfelt tributes from world leaders, religious figures, and celebrities alike. As the first pope from the Americas, born Jorge Mario Bergoglio in Argentina, his 12-year papacy was marked by compassion, inclusivity, and a commitment to social justice. On April 22, 2025, the co-hosts of ABC's The View dedicated a segment to honoring his legacy, sharing their thoughts, condolences, and personal anecdotes. While Whoopi Goldberg recounted her memorable encounter with the pontiff, Joy Behar humorously noted feeling left out, adding a lighthearted moment to the poignant discussion. Highlighted Pope Francis's profound impact and sparked reflections on his enduring message of love and unity. Pope Francis's passing, a global loss. Pope Francis, the 266th Pope of the Roman Catholic Church, died on Easter Monday, just hours after delivering a powerful Easter blessing from St. Peter's Square. His death, attributed to a stroke and heart failure following a bout of double pneumonia, marked the end of a transformative papacy. Known for his humility, advocacy for the marginalized, and calls for peace, Francis left an indelible mark on the Catholic Church and the world. His final Easter message, urging people to embrace those who are different, resonated deeply in a time of global division. The news of his passing dominated headlines, with tributes pouring in from figures like U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, who met Francis the day before his death, and world leaders such as Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, who described him as a great shepherd. Celebrities, including Whoopi Goldberg, also shared personal reflections, underscoring Francis's ability to connect with people across faiths and backgrounds. The View's tribute to Pope Francis. On the April 22 episode of The View, the co-hosts, Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, Sarah Haynes, Sunny Hostin, and Alyssa Farah Griffin, gathered to discuss Pope Francis's legacy during their Hot Topics segment. The conversation was both emotional and reflective, capturing the pontiff's unique ability to inspire. Whoopi Goldberg, a longtime admirer of Francis, set the tone by noting the somber timing of his passing. "Yesterday was a tough day," she said, "because Pope Francis, one of the great popes in my opinion, passed away just hours after sharing a very timely Easter message at the Vatican. He called on people to embrace those who are different, or who are from different lands, because we are all children of God." Goldberg's words framed the discussion around Francis's core values: compassion, inclusion, and unity. She posed a question to her fellow co-hosts. Would his message of embracing differences continue to resonate in a world often marked by polarization? The query sparked a range of responses, each co-host offering a unique perspective on the pontiff's influence. Sarah Haynes, a Christ-like figure. Sarah Haynes, known for her thoughtful commentary, drew a striking comparison between Pope Francis and Jesus Christ. "When I think of this Pope, he was the most Jesus-like," she said. "You know, when you read of Jesus and what his word was and how he walked." Haynes highlighted Francis's commitment to living out the Gospel's teachings, particularly his focus on serving the poor, advocating for refugees, and promoting peace. She pointed to his outspoken criticism of wars, including those in Ukraine and Gaza, as evidence of his moral courage. Haynes' remarks resonated with many viewers, as posts on X praised the co-hosts for recognizing Francis's alignment with Christ's teachings. One user noted, "The women of The View have declared Francis the most like Christ. It's refreshing to hear such a perspective on daytime TV." Her comment underscored Francis's ability to embody the values of humility and service, making him a relatable figure for both Catholics and non-Catholics. Whoopi Goldberg's personal encounter. The discussion took a personal turn when Whoopi Goldberg shared her experience meeting Pope Francis in 2023. The encounter occurred during an extraordinary event where Francis invited 100 comedians from around the world to the Vatican, recognizing their role in spreading joy. He brought, and this sounds crazy, but he brought 100 comedians from around the world, Goldberg recalled with a smile. She described the moment as profound, noting that Francis told the group, "What you do is very important, because without you, it's a grayer day." Goldberg's story highlighted Francis's unique ability to connect with diverse groups, from religious leaders to entertainers. She recounted presenting him with merchandise from her film Sister Act, in which she plays a singer posing as a nun, a gesture that delighted the audience when a clip was shown. The lighthearted exchange was a testament to Francis's warmth and sense of humor, qualities that endeared him to millions. Goldberg also reflected on a childhood memory of seeing Pope John XXIII in the Popemobile, describing a moment of mutual recognition. "He looked over and it was like, 'I see you,' and I thought, 'I see you too,'" she said. Her admiration for Francis, whom she compared to John XXIII, stemmed from his inclusivity and accessibility. In a 2023 episode of The View, she had praised him as a pope for all people, regardless of religion, citing his support for marginalized groups, including the LGBTQ+ community and divorced Catholics. Joy Behar's playful interjection. As Goldberg shared her story, Joy Behar, a comedian herself, couldn't resist adding a humorous aside. "I remember that," she said, referring to the Vatican comedy event. In a moment that was slightly muffled but caught by some fans, Behar jokingly added, "I wasn't invited." The comment, as reported by Decider, prompted laughter from the audience, though it was unclear whether they were reacting to Behar's quip or the Sister Act clip playing simultaneously. Behar's lighthearted remark about feeling left out added a touch of levity to the discussion, showcasing the co-host's ability to balance serious topics with humor. However, it also hinted at her playful dynamic with Goldberg, as the two often engage in friendly banter on the show. Behar's comedic background made her jest relatable, as many fans on X found it endearing. One user posted, "Joy shading Pope Francis for not inviting her to the comedy event is peak View energy." Despite the humor, Behar's participation in the discussion was more reserved than usual. Known for her outspoken views, she expressed concern about the future of the Catholic Church, noting on the April 22 episode that she feared Francis might be replaced by some conservative guy. Her comment reflected broader anxieties about the direction of the Church following Francis's progressive reforms.